Hey kids, Pastor David here, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite things as I was growing up. I loved the story of Jurassic Park. I don't know if you've heard of that. Maybe you have, because there's been some more movies recently. I think Jurassic Park is still around a little bit. But as a kid, I loved finding out about dinosaur bones and just thinking about these massive creatures like Brontosaurus and the pterodactyl, and of course, most of all, Tyrannosaurus Rex. I love thinking about dinosaurs. My boys who are 10, they've had their dinosaur times where they love, researching dinosaurs and looking at the bones and how the bones have been put back together. And you know how that works. Nobody around today or on human record has been around with dinosaurs. And so these bones are found, and then the scientists, put the bones back together. They make their best guess. And these don't fit together nicely like puzzles. Sometimes there's problems. So there's a lot of speculation that goes on in putting the dinosaurs back together. And the reason I talk about bones and putting bones back together, putting dinosaur bones back together in Jurassic Park, is because the most important part of Psalm 34 talks about bones. Psalm 34, verses 19 and 20 says that many are the afflictions of the righteous. Many are the afflictions, are the hard times of God's people. But the Lord delivers them out of them all. He keeps all his bones. Not one of them is broken. So first thing here, don't think that we as a church or that Christianity says that if you're a good person, if you're a righteous person, if you're one of God's people, if you love him and trust him and do what he says, that you're not going to have hard times in your lives. We don't believe that. Psalm 34 says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. So trusting in God is no promise of an easy life. In fact, our lives are often harder because we're God's people. However, there is a precious promise here. Even though there's not a promise that our lives in this world will be easy, there is a promise that God will deliver his people finally and fully at the end. And that's where the bones come in. See, because in the Bible, bones have a symbolic meaning in various contexts. Because the bones are the last remaining part of somebody after they die. After the flesh is gone, it deteriorates. The bones remain for a much longer time. And so the bones are a remaining part of the person. And they not only symbolize that the person has died, but they also represent that you could put this person back together. Like we put together the dinosaur bones. Couldn't you take the bones and try to put them back in order and put the person back together? And so in the Bible, in various contexts, bones represent a hope of resurrection, that he'll keep the bones. Even if the person goes through great suffering, even if the person dies in this world, God keeps their bones. And one day he will put them back together. He will arrange, like a paleontologist, he'll put the bones back together. He'll put flesh on those bones. He'll restore breath. And there will be a resurrected human body in the end for the age to come. And this is why God is better than Jurassic Park. As much as I love Jurassic Park, God's far better than Jurassic Park because Jurassic Park is a made-up story. It's a made-up story that scientists were able to put dinosaurs back together and bring dinosaurs back in the late 90s and in the 21st century and have like a zoo where you can go visit dinosaurs. You can't, it hasn't really happened. You can't do that. It's a made-up story. It's a fun story. It's a made-up story. So Jurassic Park wasn't able to really do it with dinosaurs. But the amazing thing about God is he's going to do it for real, and he's not going to do it for dinosaurs. He's going to do it for people. He's going to do it for you. He's going to do it for your parents, for your brothers and sisters, and all who trust in him. He's going to keep our bones. And in his perfect timing, when Jesus comes back at the final judgment, he's going to put our bones back together and put flesh, glorified human flesh, back on the bones and put life in our lungs again and bring us back to life, not floating around on the clouds like some kind of spirit or angel. He's going to give us renewed, glorified, amazing human bodies for all eternity. And so the bones of Psalm 34 are a great promise of resurrection. So as you read your Bible and as you think about bones, this is one reason why Christians have made a practice of burying bones rather than burning them up or destroying them, because we believe it's a sign of faith that God is going to come back. He's going to take those bones, he's going to reassemble them, and he's going to give us new bodies in the new world that he's bringing.